neighbors. Welcome to my home office. I'm sitting here on the couch right now in my living room, and just before I was about to start work, I was thumbing through this recent edition of Network World magazine. Now I have to say, out of everything I get in the mail, this is the one thing I actually look forward to. My wife can attest that I do not get the mail. If she's out of town for business for a week, I never check the mail because for me it's all bills and junk. But I'm always excited when she checks the mail and brings in my recent edition of Network World. Now this edition's at least an issue or two old because I'm kind of behind. But anyways, I was thumbing through this and I came across something in regards to social media and IT that I wanted to share with you. So there's one article in this edition of Network World that's all about the outlook of 2012 as it relates to information technology. Now there's this one section in here near the end of the article where it talks about mobile devices and social media and how the combination of the two are starting to change the landscape for IT from a business perspective. And so I'm just going to go through and kind of read little snippets of this. I'm not going to read the whole article to you, and just kind of give you my opinion and feedback on some of the stuff that they bring up in this article. So in this section of this article, it's titled Mobile Social Mayhem, and it says there are two complementary trends: the meteoric adoption of the mobile devices and the increasing use of personal smartphones and tablets for business purposes are further disrupting the IT status quo and driving new investments. Now, first of all, are you as sick of the word disrupting or disruption as much as I am?
It appears that Counselor Troy is also annoyed with all of the disruption.
It's like the word synergy when you're in marketing and sales. Seriously, it's like, I understand the meaning behind the word, but it seems like it's overused at this point just a little bit. So then the article goes on to talk about mobile devices and how IT companies or IT departments are struggling with how to handle employees and them wanting to bring their own personal devices onto the corporate network.
Hey, IT guy, do you think you could get my work email on my iPad? I need it by the end of the day. Thanks.
And as we all know, that is a struggle that's going to continue for a while because you always obviously want to have restrictions and controls within the network and not allowing those personal devices that are not completely controlled to be holding on to proprietary and copywritten and private data from the company. So after that section, they go on and talk about the social media side of this article. It says here that there's a similar tug-of-war going on in the social media realm. Sales and marketing teams want to engage customers through social networking sites. End users want to access personal accounts from the workplace. And HR wants to be able to recruit, hire, and retain social media savvy employees. Okay? But IT doesn't want to expose the company to unnecessary risk. Now, I am a marketing person, and social media is part of the marketing strategy that I help businesses with. I'm not going to sit here and say every business must have social media right now. I do think it's really important. I don't think this is a fad. I think this is actually going to completely change the landscape of business as older generations get older and older and younger generations become older and get into the workforce. They are social generations, and they're going to expect that from businesses. So it may not be necessary for businesses to have this stuff right now, but I don't think those decisions should be left up to IT. And that's where the word unnecessary risk, it makes it sound like the IT department or the IT company is driving those decisions about how marketing and sales should be ran or what tools they should use or what HR wants to use. Now there is a section here that talks about end users wanting to access personal accounts. I can see restrictions on that.
No more Facebook for you. Get back to work.
Even if it's during lunchtime or what have you, obviously I know from a fact Monday morning when I'm on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and other social media sites, trying to accomplish work, I see people piling on it between 8 and 9 a.m. when you know they're at work or they just arrived at work, and the first thing that they do is they jump on Facebook or they jump on Twitter and they start messaging for who knows how long before they actually start work. So I can understand that. And I do understand the risk involved with allowing people on social media. But you should always, technology should not be driving your company. It should be sales and marketing, number one, driving the company, and the technology should support that. But the decisions should obviously be made from the sales and marketing and not from IT. Yes, there are restrictions from a technology standpoint about probably what you can do, what you can afford. There should be risk analysis, but the IT department or your IT company, whoever that may be, should not be the ultimate decision maker. So in the next paragraph, the article goes on to say, in a recent survey, 63% of respondents said use of social media puts the organization at risk, and 52% said their organization suffered increased virus and malware attacks as a result of employees' use of social media, yet only 29% have security controls in place to mitigate or reduce the risk. My first response to this paragraph is that I do agree with the 63% of respondents who said that the use of social media puts the organization at risk. Duh! What they don't say here is how much risk, and what is the trade-off for that risk in regards to sales and marketing and HR and product development and customer service and all other aspects of the business. They're just saying it just puts you at risk, the business at risk, so that's it. We shouldn't be using social media. And then it goes on to say that 52% said the organization suffered increased virus and malware attacks as a result of employees' use of social media. I agree. My thought would be is probably these companies are not at all considered social media oriented organizations. It's not part of the culture, and they don't have policies and procedures in place to help protect from that stuff. And I would assume 90-something% of the use of that social media was probably personally related. They don't have any sort of web filtering in place, and when people either during their work time or during lunch or sometime during the day are getting on Facebook, are getting on Twitter, are playing Farmville and probably some other time-wasting games that are leading to the malware and virus attacks.
Hooray for mindless clicking! That shouldn't cause any problems.
And in the last part of this paragraph, it says, yet only 29% have security controls in place to mitigate or reduce the risk. Well, if you're integrating social media into the culture of your business and making it part or an important pillar or a tool that's part of one or more pillars of your business, then you're going to have policies and procedures and software to train employees about how to use social media properly in the business world. Have software in place that protects from social media. You may actually have one or more social media managers who work with employees. Maybe employees really only use social media under the guidance of one or more managers or consultants who help them use it, or when they're allowed to use it. Those are all important aspects of using social media in the business workplace and protecting the company from risk, which I would say is not always unnecessary, as it states in this article. And in the last paragraph of this section, it says, looking ahead, industry watchers say organizations will adopt enterprise tools that bundle compliance, content management, and analytics features so companies can stay on top of content created by employees and measure the effectiveness of their social media activities. Alright, so that's kind of what I was just talking about. And this is obviously this article is about the outlook for 2012 and where the trends are heading. And they're saying that organizations are realizing the importance of social media in general in business, and the sales and marketing departments, the HR departments, product development, customer support, they are going to be pushing more on IT to be able to use social media as a real business tool. And either if you're an IT department or an IT company that provides services for businesses, you need to be able to help them adopt social media in a way that mitigates risk as much as possible. So if you're an IT services provider, this is a huge opportunity for you. This is the time where you can be in front of the trend and catch it. Obviously, social media is not a fad, like I said before, it is a trend.
This social media bandwagon represents the trend. And this is just a picture of me holding a server over my head because I find it kind of funny.
And businesses are going to be adopting this more as a serious business tool for sales and marketing, HR, customer support, product development. The list that I've repeated a few times here. And this is an opportunity for you to become more of a value-added company. This takes you past the step of fixing someone's server, fixing someone's printer, installing a new computer, solving a network problem. I realize a lot of the time when you're providing IT services, even if you have good systems in place, you end up running around like crazy a lot. You're always going all over, putting out little fires here and there. Obviously with managed services, you're always trying to be proactive. You're always trying to schedule things and fix problems ahead of time before they become real issues, scheduling things after hours and whatnot. But still, I know from experience in working in the field, it's extremely busy, you work crazy weird hours, and it becomes very hard for an organization, unless you concentrate on it, to become a value-added company and think about how you can help your customers make information technology, make it a strategic advantage for them instead of just a necessary evil as far as, oh, we need computers to run our business.
Maybe it's not computers that are evil, but who we let use them.
So just as you might be, or probably are if you're selling managed services, very proactive in the way that you help customers fix their general IT problems from a technical standpoint, you can also help them be proactive and help them along with their marketing. Now, you may offer marketing services already, but if you don't, you can still ask them, hey, what do you do for marketing? Are you guys becoming more involved with social media? Is that something you want to do? And we can make sure as an IT company that we are helping to mitigate the risk that's talked about in this article so that social media is an effective business tool for you where you don't feel like you're going to be exposing your company too much. And if your client says, yes, we are more interested in doing this social media stuff, we are interested in doing more digital marketing, and you don't provide those services, well, get a marketing company, get a digital marketing company, find a partner that you can bring in to those businesses, and as a team, you can tag team these companies and help them along their way. I can say I do that quite a bit with, I have some IT companies that I work with where they'll go to an organization and they'll help them with their IT needs and I'll help them with the digital marketing needs. And with quite a few businesses, especially if they're small businesses, in their minds they kind of put the two together. They're like, oh, digital marketing, well, that's on the internet and this is our tech guy, so he must know marketing. Obviously, we know those are two very different things.
One does not equal the other.
But if you don't provide those services, you can bring in another vendor and work together to be a value-added company and provide a complete solution for your clients. So that's all I've got for you today from my home office. Thanks again, neighbors, and I'll see you again soon.